Charlie Boss, the only boss with one S. Happy new month to all of you. Welcome to a month of new possibilities. Do you know why life has been made so easy? It's because of Tap. People, Tap is here to make your life easy if you want to transfer money to Ghana, if you want to transfer from USA, if you want to transfer from UK, Europe, Canada, a lot of places all to Ghana. And guess what? When it comes to Ghana, there's no e-levy charge. So, what are you waiting for? Download Tap on Google Play Store and App Store and be ready for exciting offers coming your way each time, every time on Tap.
Tap Send. Send more, spend less.
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job? Then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
Hello, guys. I welcome you live on SBTV Africa. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. 5:30, exactly, you know, the voice of the community, Charlie. My mama Kwaba, Obia on here there. And Odim say 5:30 because I feel when you boy channel so live or Facebook live or a YouTube channel so SBTV Africa. If DJ Nyame na Odim say 5:30 bia no am any lawyer wisdom akaho wise man solicitors and eba show no so na hey this week no any good news so na new filler bia na new ways bi wo na ema students yes say mo the family ni ade UK sensemi Uko school odu ebusuan be koni ade ni sisi aya bandi sisi a new ways bi wa na new measures bi wa na obenya fila no wa me ne eye lawyer wisdom akaho make sure so be share link we ama unua bi na ade na ba ne san me hu say amanfo Nigeria guy yi blogger yi okotena BBC ye ni interview ni ade ba she ene no ono no de asem ne ba ya ana say you can buy na nkasa na measures or they are too quick with the guy is so opportunity will interview my could be bisana what to bombi and also can be an and you have finding out a champion lawyer back lawyer wisdom akaho is my solicitors straight from London meaning by drink more I was shown so now also a bisano near seaporting where's a means be wana and I say no crescent band be wana say more kind of I don't be mana. It's a way the program where we have more questions. So I'm going to be any other way be able to maybe sano or platform. Making sure so be drop a comment section or time to say the questions they be out and we human. Inti many lawyer wisdom aka wise man solicitors. Ewa drink more like a share for a drink chebra and yatem. Did ever be DJ Nyame? I go straight na many lawyer and to so na the interesting no lawyer F1 lawyer wisdom akao wise man solicitors me hwe say o ahoma no so na yenko straight yenko din komo a nti mbetimi adwene yen guys o question bia obetimi obese obisa na obetimi ebisa no na straightforward na you take it from there nti lawyer badi yenko straight lawyer
DJ
akwaba o boko de
boko wusu etisan
nice one yeso ye ho ye pa na this week you know yanti news papa nti emboni teuna we say means bi wo na wo na obetimi a chechire mu yi a chire na e pese ehun se na me kan begin e pese ehun se ade ana e wo pipeline nim da na say blogger na BBC guy ni koye ni interview na ma apeja ana say no wan kasa no ade a omo ma fa plan da because ade we dey ha yen nyina ena Nigerians nko aha Africans obia the whole world. Inti lawyer Emma Wakwaba. Inti over to you. Lawyer Wisdom Akao. Okay. Who's a lawyer of fixing the machine kakra. Obeti me the comments about me who Chris AJ or say we abuse every opportunity. Yeah. Obeti me the comments about making sure so be share because here the filler be bahase. It making sure say obe share link we fill out the about a serious. It making sure say obe share link we o share o Facebook making sure so be share mo people so go school UK. Ono family and be kan one they are buying can then na obetimi aya fa ho enti make sure say obe share link we what also the questions beba what means be wo ana say sisia what means be any ho enti ba be bisa lawyer question I go straight lawyer yanko me unsa line ko off kakra yanko over to you.
Thank you. Yo, DJ, me mau Joe, and I'm mau bia Joe. Another week has gone and back. The radiasi. We are always grateful to God for His provisions. Yo, DJ, I'm say UK Mrano, UK, omu unwritten constitution. And the Emrani dear, to miss Sano anytime tea. Because any written a fena, Omuka way, Nakasa way, after this. There's a Omuko Nasa be here as a song year. No with your policy guidance, but not quickly, almost some rano. The Omu idea. And money is unwritten and it is so flexible and they are able to just amend it as they go along. Now, as to whether or not, now you may say, this week, you say about this Nigerian blogger now. Or no onya chance or any BBC ebe interview. Instead, can be beer ebe boa yeng no. Meaning say opportunity na onya ye no na efa ni timo ana when to make and once she na adwen yie na okọ keka niam enka ensese obeka to the extent say oka say yeng yemu bebre ana Africans say ye backroom house students ni ba omo ba just to enter. I'm going to do pay, not just say, I'm going to shift to that routine soon. And what can someone we actually obroni later na wo ba apologize. They say near one year saying Ariana, and ya say and see the apologies and stuff. Does it change and does not change anything? It's very unfortunate because Nyonuka, it's not the truth, it's not the rule. The fact say nipa baku mienu bi assistant and now almost 20 years was the once they got him does not mean that everybody who comes here as a student comes with the intention that they just want to enter the UK and then after that they switch. It's not true. If you look at the number of students who come and actually study compared to the few who don't go to study, the numbers are nothing to be compared. And it was a very wrong analysis for him to say, yeah, but do here we are. Students, this happen when you do here we are, not just at school, no amonko. Now, as to whether or not near onuka yente and na omo di measures for free apa anana omo dwen ho di down no media meka say na omo dwen ho di down na omo dwen ho di down because statistics I mean who say over 160,000 dependent students student dependents in eba UK over 160 or so thousand student dependents and yes students know dependents no and by last academic year or so. And already, now Omar said they were finding ways and means of reducing the number of student dependents, not the student, but the dependents. And to wake up, boom, and just say, I don't know, see, Abuano or pet, a person journey the down, and one losing or whichever way they put it. So it was just like a timely opportunity for them to launch this policy. And let me rather count 170. Yes, it was already there. They've always been talking about immigration to reduce the numbers of people coming to the UK, etc., etc. So it's always been there. Whichever party comes on, whether it is conservatives, whether it is Labour, whether it is Liberal Democrats, with any other party, immigration has always been a problem in this country. And then say government nibana say everybody wants to blame immigration and they look for the soft targets in this case unfortunately students and omodi ako to so but look at this One amobia kwama health and care workers say omumra. One amobia kwama construction workers say omumra. Adentina dependence there. Mudi omoni akwakosi omusu. So these are some of the issues that come up and we have to analyze. They always look for an opportunity and an area where they can target to reduce the number of influx of people. So students happen to be the issue today. So let me go straight to the changes that are coming. Number one, there was an announcement on the 23rd of May 2023 saying many international students to the UK are going to lose their right to bring their family members from January 2024. International students, many international students, not all, but many international students are going to lose their right to bring their family members or their family to the UK from January 2024. And see, an admission, so to say, and our September admission, so you are advised to come in with your family before January 2024. And yes, sir, so we do here. Want to me and we ukno wuma and to me and count emma. They are reducing the number of dependents that are coming to the UK from January 2024, unless it is a PhD, MPhils, etc., that is research based. So, here, doctors, I'm aware doctorate degree, they can still bring their family members. But undergraduate, first degree, if you want to make UK have you. So that is where it is. Now, bachelors and masters cannot bring their dependents. Bachelor degree holders or people who are coming to do their bachelor's degree or masters cannot bring their families to the UK from January 2024. So let me say it again. Only postgraduate courses that are designed as research programs, which include PhD students, will be able to bring their dependents to the UK from January 2024. So that is point number one. As I said, yes, that is one. Number two. Now, okay, even before I go there, this is a temporary measure, and yes, sir, it's going to be forever. In fact, nothing is forever. This country, we've been around for a little while, and Emrano, it keeps changing. I will not be surprised that after a few years, they'll go back and say student dependents can come and join their partners in the UK. So it goes and comes as it is. So this is only a temporary measure whilst the government is looking for alternative approach for students to bring their dependents. So it's not coming to be there forever. It is a temporary approach while they are looking for a more permanent, let me say, option to either allow students to bring their dependents or to restrict the number of student dependents that will come to the UK. Another exception is that students from the top, this is our speculation, students from the top 50 universities in the world. You look at students from the top 50 universities in the world. If you are a student coming from any of these top 50 universities in the world, they may be able to bring their dependents. But the question is, how many African countries have a university in the first top 50 universities in the world? And this rating is done by the Times Higher Education Ranking. So if the Times Higher Education Ranking says that there is no university in your country that comes within the first 50 top universities, it means that nobody who is coming to do a bachelor's degree in this country can ever bring their partner to the UK or their dependent to the UK to join them. So those are the speculations that these will be exemptions, which we are looking forward to. Now, we are expecting more details on this policy as it's just been initiated or it's just come up. We are expecting more details as we go along. So please, if you are coming as a student for September admission, please ensure you come with your dependents before January 2024. Otherwise, your dependents cannot come. The other thing is there are some categories of dependents that are not affected. There are categories of dependents who are not affected. Example, people on the tier 2 health and care worker visa, nurses, doctors, skilled workers. In other categories, ọmụ no ọmụ nka ho. Where no students and ọmụ targeting them, not the health and care worker visa holders. They can still bring their family members to the UK to settle with them here in the UK. That is one. So tier 2 is still okay. Is the tier 4, the students, Muna, Omoni Abayano Anya Asam. Spouses, so what worry, Nasa Uyri Eba, na Uyri Ewo Ma, Ana Owoba, or no subetimed in a man Abba. So they are not affected. Asylum seekers who want to bring their family members who have been granted and they want to family reunion, they can also still bring their dependents. So it is only the students that are being targeted in this particular case, which means that if you have something to do, you want to come quickly, and then of course come with your dependents before January 2024. So that is it. There are exceptions. It's not all students, it's not all dependents, not all students, because graduate, postgraduate, PhD, MPhil students can still bring their dependents. But students, first degree, no, from 2024. Update number 2. Update number 2. And it said, students need to buy. Then they switch from one category to another category whilst they have not completed their course. Ebia obi by as a student. One course school no. Whilst I one course school no, the student visa is still valid. Now we're switching to health and care or to another category as a worker. Now what the Home Office is saying is universities are losing millions of pounds because students are jumping ship. In other words, Uba school. School now admission. We're blocking with space among Obi from Obi. They are not be all person of Banunka wait me here. Now so they are because we grade near better. Waba one go school no. One go school no school no school fees and SSA or J for that year no. They end up losing that money. The students who switch to other categories are costing the universities a lot of money. A lot of money, which runs into millions of pounds. Because of that, what the policy is now is that international students will no longer be able to switch out of the student route into work routes for staying in the UK before their studies have been completed. And to Sawoba and as a Waba, so Waba for 1 year or 2 years. Just we will cause no answer now let me switch it into another category. So that is what they are saying. You have to finish your course before you can switch into another category where you can work. Before you can switch into a work category, especially tier 2, this health, care, and other categories. The almost thing is that make sure you finish your course before you switch. If you are still on a student visa, you cannot switch to any work route. You cannot switch to any work route. You cannot switch to IT sponsor. You cannot switch to hospitality sponsor. You cannot switch to health and care sponsor. You cannot switch into any of these work-related routes, it does not mean, sir, you cannot switch to a partner or any other as a parent. Those are routes which are not included in these restrictions or in this ban. You can't switch to work. You can switch to become a partner or a parent, but not to the tier or other groups. So that is what update number 2 says. International students will no longer be able to switch when you course now, you can't switch. So that is what it is. Now, the reason why they said this is it is reported that many students switched to the carer visa, which is the easier visa to get employment without completing their course. And this is what they came up with. Now, this home office, what happens is applications are echoing now. They are taking statistics, they are taking a tally of the kinds of applications that are coming. Students switching, so they keep the record. Now, based on that record, they advise the government as to what to do. And no, and Akodi Hay said, students who come and they don't attend the school, they switch to work, and it is costing the government and the universities a lot of money. So, university, no, as I said, nipa 200 and I ever call university. Now, 10 Anko University, they've lost that money. And that is why the universities have informed the Home Office that students are not reporting. Then the Home Office can determine to cancel their leave or not. And once they cancel their leave, then of course they can't go to the school. Those universities have lost the opportunity of making money, at least by the students paying their fee. It is understandable why students want to do that because one, it is cheaper and it is faster. Because Oko Health and Care route in this way, after 5 years, Obanyani indefinite. Meanwhile, Oko student route in this way, Uda Susa, Uye course in this way, I think I'll be a quafu I would ever fast under the rules, no answer, would you sit now. And the students will try a health and care near quicker and a cheaper. You know, a faho now what the Anyana Sitna. So that is option and then update number 2 for what is going on in the UK now. Now, update number 3 is that the government is taking action against educational agents who are dishonest. Omo who say educational agents be education agents be in different countries are being dishonest. Omo nimpa say sandipa we enya dia o abako school no. Because first of all, ADR certificate ni or the application ni na so. Omo who say based on XYZ set through their interaction and interview with the person, they may be able to determine whether this person has the intention of completing the education or not. Now, what the government is saying is that there are some education institutions or agents, education, not institutions, but agents that bring students here. They are being dishonest because omun passes some omun school. Now, so now omun di omaba, then they want to switch into another category. So the government is taking action, and some of these education institutions, education agents, the education agents may be banned from recruiting students or from applying for students to come to the UK. And see, what is the solution? Sir, we are student now, please look for a credible education institution or education agent that will apply for you to come to the UK. Omono, omohun, clean. Omoni problem there with the government. Number 2, so while working on your application, please deal directly with the university so that you don't go through an agent who may be banned or who may be stopped from recruiting or bringing students to the UK. So one kasa your idea, and please, if you can, get a reputable and a credible education agent to do it for you. Otherwise, the government, if they place those education institutions on the red list. They may not tell us, but we confirm why refuse it. Who define why refuse it. So please take note of that. Update number 4. Postgraduate study, postgraduate visa. Postgraduate visa is still working. Postgraduate visa is still working. That has not been cancelled. And the Soviet culture said they've cancelled the postgraduate visa because they are banning students from bringing their dependents. That is not true. Postgraduate visa is still working. And so we are students, waba, now wait me your course now. And yeah, nearby said you switch to the postgraduate visa route. No, so over 2 years, you work with that during the 2 years. During the 2 years, no, not what your options. Now remember that once you are on the postgraduate visa, you are no longer a student. It is called postgraduate, that is after your studies. In that case, you are then able to move into other categories that may apply to your circumstance or to your situation. So, it is essential, it is important that you finish your course, and if you don't finish your course, then you may not be able to switch, or even if you switch, it cannot be to the work route, but maybe to the family or other routes. And also, if you complete your course, then you go for the 2-year graduate visa. And no allows you to work and to also look for other options that will enable you to remain in the UK legally without becoming an overstayer, which I don't recommend at any time. Update number 5. Update number 5. And then it says the government is looking to review the amount of money a person must hold before they can bring their spouse, or even the amount of money they must have before they can apply for student visa to come to the UK. It is expected that the money may increase, just to make it probably more difficult for people to meet the threshold or the requirement. So, the government will review the funds students must have. The government will review the funds students must have to care for themselves and their families and their dependents before they come to the UK. We are expecting more of this information as we go along. So, therefore, these are the new measures that are coming in, which has been made worse because Nigeria ni bi nso akɔka sɛ yɛ back room ha ɛnyɛ sɛ adesua nti ne yɛba sɛ yɛnyɛ du ha pɛ ne ahwehwɛ ɛkwan foforɔ bi a yɛbɛfa so na yɛde atena akurom ha. And he gave this interview to no corner shop media house but to the BBC, and the whole world has launched onto that now and saying sɛ yɛba kurom ha ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛba abɛsua adeɛ but yɛba asetena nti na yɛba abɛtena kurom ha, which is rather very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. So DJ Nyame, these are just the bit of updates. Now, research shows that international students contributed over 41.9 billion pounds to the UK economy over a period of time. Now, this is a lot of money. So you can see that students are very important to them, but they want to remove the people who are taking advantage of the system, who are selling immigration rather than recruiting genuine students to come and study in the UK. So the government is now going after these education agents and also looking for ways to reduce the number of students who may want to come with their dependents to the UK. But Makasa, postgraduate students, masters, let's say PhD, MPhils, research-related ones are not included. But bachelors, first degree, etc., they are excluded, or they will be excluded from January 2024. What me from about and tell me before then, and the Yame Adomo. But so we trying until January 2024, you will not be able to bring your dependents to the UK if you are coming here as a student. So briefly, this is just the updates we have for you today. Miriam.
Lawyer, yeah, but that's but say watch a mu wa ma yati ase but the enu Nigeria ni boy ni kokan no to me no me hu say enye no na so mu gina so no mo ka say so no akoka na asem a enye no na ebe gina so say ye ka say Ghana ha na ye wona Chinese for no mo ba ni nyina no mo ba galamse nko a no mo ye ntien ba ndi o ma na just say agi atum say okay say sadia mo mu nyina mo ma say nyo mu nyina no be galamse it is a BBC no ka say students ba no mo de omo ka fo ba ni ade a omo nko school no omo nyewe ani nche say nyina say na o ka na nyina na
Baby.
e omo use boy ni keke na omo nga say na o ka begin na ade ono mo agba to
the down already no not just say
so den ho abe nti say boy na be say si ono akoso wakochuku ye o
ono wachuku snitch
wakochuku but me show mo documentary bi o some parliament ono mo kan about say say na usika no students ni mo musika pa na say omo cut say dey we Sudan affect omo economy no
affect on big time. COVID ni ba ya the universities were hard hit. It affected universities big time because those 1-2 years the universities were very hard hit. And the UK economy thrives a lot on students. From the statistics I'm sure students bring more money than the pharmaceutical industry. Oh yes. Tuition fee alone.
One of my way, mo paying back no account parliament. I think say mo may only be.
Yes.
No, ka say sikebia omo nya ni ade na ye students omo ba school no ho na omo mama musa scanner mama economy na gina nti say omo nhwe sa we no omo nhwe ni ye sa be ma economy no crash. I say yeah eji visitors visa e ba o yi. Say ye nyina na e ba o yen returning ana.
David.
It's our decision in the mentality. Yeah, nyina na eba ho a. Some by UK, some return here.
Ampa.
So that doesn't mean say nyina na eba ho a stories are in return ana. It the boy dey so be.
One say enya nyina na yeba yebeka. Bebre ekoba a lot go back. But kakra na eba omo nko no. Eno na ama is affecting everybody. Now, it's not just Ghana. Just imagine all the countries in the world who are seeking to come to the UK as visitors. And there's 100 every Ghana but Anko. 100 every China. 100 from the Philippines. 100 from the US. 100 from Canada. 100 from Italy. They are looking at the big picture. They are looking at the big picture of the people coming. 10 here, 20 here, you're looking at the overall number that do not go back. In Tiushana, from the perspective of only your country, you would think that they are being unfair. But then look at it, the big picture of what it is, of the people who come, net migration, the people who come and the people who go out. Honestly, so we do Heathrow. If you see the number of people leaving the Heathrow airport every single day, it's so huge. And you ask yourself, how can they say people are coming and they're not leaving? But also, they know the number of people who are coming in and they know the number of people who are leaving. So they do the plus and minus. And then they know the difference that are remaining. And nothing when they are making their policy, they are taking into consideration their immigration control. They want to reduce the number as much as possible. It's only unfortunate that area B eyi ni huba no ma target ho no ma hit ho hard
and men dan sorry no mo nka say healthcare so sa o go for we men dan go sorry no mo ka say healthcare for so no mo ba necessary ni ade nso de no mo for mo busa for mo
So, and no grant can wait in the already problem saying, yeah, go to a red list, no, so at least it reduces the number, you know. So they are always looking for ways to minimize the influx, to reduce the number of people who will come to the UK and possibly not stay and not go. They're looking at the number of people in terms of the educational institutions, the housing, the burden on housing, burden on the NHS. They look at all of these things to say, look, if 10,000 people come in a year and they don't go back, the pressure on the hospitals, the pressure on the housing, the pressure on other schools, etc. That is what they do. So their objective is to control immigration in order not to put burden on their institutions. That is what it is, and to control
And then
immigration.
this year, we go school or Canada or any US.
Oh,
Go
mommy,
Canada,
me say nipa
Australia.
bebree nikɔ Canada. Na say the Canada and hɔ no na menim sɛ nipa bebree ɛrekɔ. Yeah, and see if the UK is going to be more difficult, I think people will look for alternatives and go to other places to study. I mean, why not? If you can't come to the UK, somewhere else you can go, of course. Nothing stops you from
Okay.
taking that option. Yeah.
Okay, so my bad journey, I mean, lawyer wisdom, Macau, wise man solicitors. Only say Fridays be, I mean, in the bar, fear that be at 5:30. It's you move out to 7. Or questions be a best will be sad. I won't say more drop on comments, but all questions are best will be sana. So also a student, and so I can't in your them. The air course or hobiano. We there on the open for I can't in your them. So questions be a best will be sana. Drop a comment section or and I say. Message me the me WhatsApp number no beto comment section obetimi send voice note so untimi type here na was send no question but any brief be 30 seconds be na 1 minute be na mabo a che na we one so untimi type here obetimi type there obetimi there to comment section ho send be ya time no do ana mama wakan mama but se lawyer wo bibia obese odetua so a obetimi akọ se bibia so ni ho ana mahwe comment section say questions bi aba
Your comment sections. No, if we exhaust that, then I'll be happy to address one or two things.
Mamemfa me number no to ho me the lawyer wisdom aka o number no to screen so and the opposite say o friend after the program and I opposite office line na me the to screen so but the me the ba to sisi no e comment section na make count and yeah who opposite will be send question I won't even type it was screen so no wait me in a voice note na mabo na wa answer to what question be opposite will be send na me numbers no my number near +2 but to the lawyer my question be 2 answer na me to be bisa say obia attack Nigerian boy o any question when Nigerian boy am attack you no aka na sem later ko abet na say pacho adi so akoto bomb we play cho say bomb we play cho ne den pacho okay lawyer my take a question we I don't know say a question or say
Oh, see, I
okay
know about. Okay, every man is your teacher, right? See, I know about 5 Nigerians who came on student visa but now doing care work. I advised them not to quit university, but they said they can't afford the fees. Well, this is somebody's comment by virtue of interactions are only ubi anya and only Nigerians will be anya. Of course, near all Canada, meaning say a idea a harding because universities know at the admission. The intention is that you would come and study and you pay your tuition fee. And it's a one cost school now, they end up losing that money. So then they inform the Home Office, then the Home Office can then decide to cancel the person's leave to remain their student visa. It is true that that is happened to be a problem in the system. I don't think that a government, a decision or ye. Unfortunately, we can't monitor. You and I can't monitor people and tell them what to do. But policies numbers to say there. Mejidi said, say yeba yeboko school no na yen switch it from the student route to the care work route, so that at least the impact on other people who are coming wouldn't be so huge. I hope in future.
Okay. Oh, Mumbisa question. Mumbisa obi bisa question be off from the other buy. And okay, the enquiry.
Okay. Dundee, can someone marry a German woman in Germany if the person has overstayed? Or can the person marry a Ghanaian woman whilst both of them are in Germany and do the customary marriage in Ghana? Thanks. Well, to be very honest with you, I'm not conversant with the German law. I don't know about the German law as to what or how they handle proxy marriages or customary marriages. So, Ubisa about UK, let me catch you say yes. The UK allows proxy marriage, Ghanaian customary marriage. I can refer you to the case of CB Brazil, which says, sir, aware no yejitum was sa krona omoye oso a ene UK so omojitum ewo ha. The case of Yaute and Kwe, the case of McCabe and McCabe. These are all case laws in the UK. The case of NA Ghana, the case of Amuakon, all these cases are in the UK, and we can rely on this. But when it comes to, or if it comes to Germany, I have no idea at all as to how the German law operates. And my advice will be that if you want to, or somebody who wants to marry is in Germany and wants to marry a Ghanaian national, then they can seek for advice from a Ghanaian lawyer in Germany who may be able to give them the right direction. I will be
Lawyer,
yeah.
lawyer, Nyami Adoma next week. Okay, Germany assembly from next week. June. Mini Aisha Bebabion. Aisha best start we show no so Aisha the on the Germany in Komo.
Very good, very good.
Many na yes, but it be breaking for some months.
Right,
But my
right.
standing number Thursdays 6 p.m.
Very good.
Live. But
Very
the one best bisa Aisha questions no about Germany. I know your Germany Schengen for no. I into Germany issue no. But lawyer there, but your maybe in the US, maybe in Europe, maybe in Canada, maybe in Australia, maybe in UK. The BFI UK won't be an obit maybe no, but Germany there. Uncle more on best of more advice be a better farm. But UK the anti founder. It's a lawyer. And next question was screen so.
Yo, when person ma apofibia na ankotua na just say. All right. So my question is, can I bring along my wife to the UK with my skilled worker? Yes, of course. A skilled worker, you can still bring your partner. You can still bring your partner. There's not been any ban yet. We hope they don't target you as well. So now that the opportunity is there, you can quickly do it before, because nkrofo on one start the air society. Ebe start almost starting from students. We shall not care. We shall not other things. So over to me, and yet, yes, ro, yan in some. Unya bedumun sadan sanomosi sankra. Already, you are in the zebra crossing, and you are safe. You are safe. Virtual hangout. I'm Ireland. Okay, you are in Ireland and working visa for two. Well, you have 2 years working visa, but would like to change sponsor. Is that allowed? Since Ireland and UK cease to have the same laws, it is possible. I think it may be possible to do that. If you are in the Northern Ireland, if you are in Northern Ireland, I can confidently say yes. If you're in the Republic of Ireland, I would ask you to please seek for a further advice from a solicitor over there. Northern Ireland is part of the UK. Like I said, the UK is made up of News, NEWS, Northern Ireland, England, Wales, and Scotland. So if it is Northern Ireland, yes. If it is Republic of Ireland, please seek for further advice before you make any move. Thank you. There is another question. It says, if someone gets admission into UK university whilst on a valid tourist visa, can it be switched? Unfortunately, so we share Appendix V of the immigration rules. It says you cannot study. You cannot study, you cannot work, you cannot marry, you cannot get paid for anything in the UK if you are here as a visitor. So even though you may have admission to the UK to come and study university, if you enter as a student, sorry, if you enter as a visitor, you cannot switch. You may have to go back home, apply for the visa as a student, and then come back in as a student. You cannot switch if you are here as a visitor. I'm so sorry, you can't.
Okay, obi too can we na kan ma ne say see abuse opportunities.
Well, I'll be Ankara. We abuse every opportunity we get as Africans, and it will affect us, not them. We need to change our character and mindset. Mindset. Well, I can't say more than what he has said. We just have to do what we have to do and make sure we don't overdo things. Moderation is important. Excess of everything is a problem. But the thing is, how do you control this? How do you control these things? There is no single button you can press because somebody is doing it in the north, somebody is doing it in the south, somebody is in the west. It's all over the place. At the end of the day, it comes together and it affects everybody. So, unfortunately, we are where we are, and we hope that things and mindsets will change, that things get better. Isaac Mafara, when is that policy starting about the ban of the student visas? January 2024. January 2024 is when the ban will kick in. So, if you are coming here as a student from January 2024, you cannot bring your partner, your dependents, unless you're coming to do a doctorate degree. MPhil, PhD, and courses that are research oriented, postgraduate, then that is what it is. Otherwise, you cannot bring your spouse. Those are the exemptions for degree, for what do you call doctors, PhD, MPhil, etc., etc. They can still bring their partners to the UK.
Okay, so my questions no mo mfa mba biom na asa lawyer bi foforo a be say social call.
All
But I'm
right.
say I think some of the buy about this Nigerian thing.
Yeah. All right.
Guy wey be say question be but or the bibi kan darling Barnabas or say as one sign about say as independent, as dependent, as a dependent. Question way. Okay, so who answer question? Who answer question way?
Can I bring along my? Yes, I've answered that.
And all the
Um,
we are, all the we are structure.
as a dependent, yes, of course. So it means you are here as a skilled worker and you want to bring your wife as a dependent or your children as a dependent. Yes, you can. You can.
Okay, lawyer, the empty answer.
Thank you. Are we going to talk about switching anyway? Even though the switching is being banned, we're still going to talk about switching. Now, sir, obi ewo krom ha as a student. Na sir, when we the course in mpo, na ohyia ne ho kafo anaa ɔware a anaa wɔwo ba mpo a, the fact sɛ wawo ba a ne ba no yɛ British citizen ɛno ɛnstɔpe ne sɛ ɔntumi nswitchi. Ɔbɛtumi aswitchi from the student route to the parent route no so. Example, maba UK as a student, may abɛhyia obi either another student, or I've met a sweetheart in a shopping mall or somewhere, and we fall in love. Nasa me worry na because my student visa no enye enwe I can switch from the student route to the partner route. This is not the work route that is being banned. I'm switching to the partner route, not to the care healthcare, or to work, but as a partner. There is no restriction on that. You can still switch. Or if you have a child in the UK and your child is a British citizen, or your child is 7 years old, or the child has indefinite leave to remain, and you are still a student, the question is, can you switch to become a parent, not as a tier worker, but as a parent? Is it possible to switch from student to the parent route? The answer is we don't have any ban, and therefore you are able to switch from the student route to the parent route, which means that you have a child in whose life you are genuinely involved, and by virtue of that involvement, you are able to apply to switch from the student route to the parent route. Now, what do you need to make a successful application? What do you need? What you need is this. Number one, there has to be, let me look at the partner first. The partner, there has to be a genuine and subsistent relationship. Genuine and subsistent relationship. It does not have to be a sham marriage. It has to be a genuine marriage. You have to prove that there is a marriage certificate which puts the two of you together as married couple. The marriage certificate, you can marry here in the UK, or you can obtain the marriage certificate by proxy from Ghana when your family members represent you. If your family members represent you, or a representative stands on your behalf, in that case, you are able to depend or use that marriage certificate to establish that there is a genuine and subsistent relationship here ongoing in the UK. Now, I had a question the other day. Say, I am Onipan or say or Ghana name, or Ban or Obroni Fita, English Broni Fita, or besides a possible say, or no, or Ghana name, or better Obroni, Uncle Ghana da, Obayana Sitina Anna, or better Wareno under the Ghana customary or the Ghanaian customary law, Nasi Anna. Now we're switching from the student to the partner route, Anna. Yes, the law allows that. Even though Obano Enya Ghana there is or there are provisions. I just say Obano Enya Ghana mpo obetime ape obi a oba representing no. Enti Obano betime ape me a me kwa ko ware no no. Me mebusuani bi kra na wagina ho ama Obano. Let me say it again. Obano ye obroni onko Ghana da. Mene na ye, mene na ahyia, yesi ye do ye ho. Nanso me pesa me worry under the Ghanaian customary law. Me pesa me ko Ghana. Obano pesa me ko Ghana. Is it possible to get married under the Ghanaian customary law? When the woman or if the woman is not a Ghanaian, the answer is yes, it is possible because the case laws say it is possible. It is what the law says, not what somebody is thinking, but what the law says. The law says it is possible. Home Office for Omwo report the friend of the Rallon report, RALON, the Rallon report. Almost more be Eddie Concry. Any registrar no got Nancy. And I'm be sending questions about the Ghanaian customary marriage and how it works. And the Home Office for Nankasa Chom report Kai said Nipa Baku a Ghanaian, and this Obano a Ghanaian, Betime, I worry under the Ghanaian customary law. So Berman a Ghanaian, that's Obano a Ghana Nimpua, still no better worry under the Ghanaian customary law, but on here representative. Now, so Papa in Ghanaian, Maminosu in Ghanaian, and it is not possible for them to marry under the Ghanaian customary law. So that is what the law says. Let me give another example. If your mamini a Chinese, Papa Nsu Efi, let's say South Africa. Mamini a China name, Papani from South Africa. Can they marry under the Ghanaian customary law? The answer is no, because none of them is from Ghana. But the mamini a China name, ɛna papa no yɛ Ghanani a, yes, still no, ɔbɛtumi aware under the Ghanaian customary law, proxy marriage. So maame no yɛ Chinani, or sitting over kurom ha, ɔbɛtumi aware under the Ghanaian customary law. So you provide the marriage certificate to prove that there is a genuine and subsistent marriage going on. Now, when we talk about subsistent, it means that the marriage is continuing, is ongoing, is ongoing. How do you prove? Prove by using bills, utility bills. Put it the same house. You live together as a married couple. You wake up every morning. You go to sleep every night. There's proof. There is evidence that you live together as a married couple. On that basis, that is the evidence of a genuine and subsistent relationship. That is one. Number two, you need to prove that you meet the financial requirement to switch from the student to the partner route. You have to meet the financial requirement, which is the £18,600. And it's ọbarima na ɛyɛ adwuma, na sɛ ɔbaa no nso yɛ adwuma, na sɛ yɛde mo mmienu mo sika ne bɔ mu a, it should be more than £18,600. Once that happens, then you meet the financial requirement. If it falls below the £18,600, then you would have a problem in meeting the financial threshold, and that can affect your application. The application may be refused unless there are some exceptional, compassionate circumstances, in which case they may place you on the 10-year route rather than on the 5-year route as a spouse. So that is that aspect as well. The next thing is you must show that you have sufficient proof of accommodation. So there has to be accommodation, maybe 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms for you and your partner, and probably for your children. If you can prove this, then you are able to switch from the student route to the partner route as well. So even though there is a ban on switching immediately, switching as a student to any other route in terms of work routes, when it comes to partners and parents, there is no ban on that, as we know. Now, how do you switch from being a student to becoming a parent? Parents need to say, "Wo uba." Application now we are you are basing it on uba and yet on maameno, but abufrano. Abufrano wo no. And also onunti na uji application. We as it na application. Ebia wone maameno mo ntama tete, but wone uba ne de, wone no contact. Wone uba no e contact. And what will happen is, if you have a friend, only you have school, but or the area is also GP for hospital treatment. Mammy kwa only know that Eddie will free air call. You bring a letter from the hospital or from the GP. I just papa wait here on Cindy Bunny Fem cry. Say mammy by appointment on ne papa no any my abufrano and a eba appointment. And the GP no ever my letter to confirm, sir, wouldn't abufrey papa, and you are involved in the child's life. And yes, our abufrana to work a you don't get involved, you don't get consent, you don't care about the child. Assistance, no for you when him say, who persuade abufrana soup a D application. May you in this set, my menubatiam or cry, until you have to be involved in the child's life, in the child's upbringing, welfare, and well being. That is the basis on which set your application via, you are very likely to succeed on the basis of your involvement in the child's life as a parent, not as a partner, but as a parent. Partner means marriage or live together with a person for 2 years. Parent means parent, and that is what it is. So involvement in the child's school, say, at the school going area, and then you have to be taking the child to school. You bring the child from school. You go for PTA, parent meetings. You have to be on the record that you are a parent who is concerned and involved in the child's life. If that happens, then you stand a very good grounds of being able to switch from the student route to the parent route. Because later no, our school never no, I'm can say, I'm winning abofrey step abofrey papa within the school, but primary school, and our parents even in so a year and based on that, you can be assured that you are sitting on ebe amount. So that is what it is. Now, I've talked about partner, I've talked about parent. I'm also going to talk about step parent. Now, we are students again, not say we will course no poor. Now we shall bar when they gin home, and I shall bear man when they gin home. That's all bano, I will bad it down, and our bear man will bad it down. And you will but on no bad it down. And also, so who worry, mamma, there is no way you can base your application on somebody's child if you don't have a relationship with the child's mother or the child's father. You can't just pick a child in the street and say, look, come, I want to make an application based on you to stay in the UK. It doesn't happen and it will not happen. And to say, and your biological child, then you have to have a relationship with the child's mother or the child's father. So your bar have a relationship with the child's father by marriage or by living together for 2 years, or your Bema, you must have some connection with the child's mother through marriage or by living together for 2 years under GEN 1.2, the definition of a person who is a partner. We understand. Then you can make an application based on your partner and your stepchild. And that application, you can make it under Appendix FM, Section LTRP as a partner slash PT because you have a stepchild involved, but they'll give it to you under the partner route. On that basis, Ubetumim Ayi application at Nakrumha as a student who has switched from the student route to the partner route. So, of course, these are the options still available to switch from the student route to the partner route or to the parent route in the UK. That route has not been closed, it is still valid. I want to look at one more thing, and if there are some questions, I will take it. I have heard time and again people have called me to ask me if it is possible, sir, Obia over 2.5 years limited leave to remain in the UK under Appendix FM. No. Saa nipa na ɔwɔ saa 2.5 years no ɔbɛtumi aware a ne kunu ana ne yere nso bɛnya 2.5 years ana. That is a question I have been asked over and over and over. Let me put it in a better example. Assuming say me wɔ me ba no British citizen. Because of me ba no nti, me ba no ɛte me nkyɛn, ɔte me nkyɛn o. Ɛna me gyina ne so anaa me fa ne so ɛde yɛ application menya 2.5 years. Mɛtumi aware obi a ɔnni asetena a ɔno nso bɛnya asetena anaa. Amanfoɔ sɛ ɛnyɛ possible, but me sɛ ɛyɛ possible because mmara no say wobɛtumi aware obi a ɔwɔ 2.5 years. Na wo no wabɛsi application based on wo kunu anaa wo yere no ɛne ne ba no wo nso wobɛnya wo 2.5 years. Ɛyɛ ade a ɛyɛ mmara a yɛde ɛyɛ adwuma. Nti sɛ woyɛ obi a wɔ kurom ha wowɔ 2.5 years na wowɔ wo ho kamfo ɔno nso ni asetena ɔno nso bɛtumi agyina wo so ɛne wo ba no so ayɛ application for 2.5 years ɔno nso yɛbɛma no asetena wo kurom ha. What documents would you need? Just as I have mentioned, when you proof of address, sir, we need of course, you need proof of address to show that we need the same house. Number 2, when here passport copies, abofrani passport copy, ni mami passport copy. Number 3, when here proof, extra of course, you are involved in the child's life. Again, letter from the school, letter from the GP, probably letter from the opticians, or even a letter from the dentist, or a football coach of the child. All these people can confirm, sir, you are involved in the child's life. Based on that, you can apply to stay in the UK. On the basis, sir, we yuri, it was 2.5, and now, it was 2.5, ba, abofra no enya wo bampo nanso wo yiri ni wo ba ana wo kunu no e wo ba, and based on that you can apply to stay in the UK. you will need you will need bank statements to show say wo ye adwuma. You need pay slips I confirm say wo ye adwuma. Possibly you may add a P60 if you have it. Over here, tenancy agreement, which shows that you are settled, you have a place you can sleep without going to the council for benefit. Now, if you can provide all of these documentations, I can tell you for a fact that your application will be granted, even though we really want 2.5 years now, and now Papa no 2.5 years now, because of the child that is a British citizen and the fact that you are married or you live together or you've lived together for 2 years, you can apply, and on that basis, you will get your leave to be in the UK. So, DJ Nyami, this is another option which is available under the rules. Set Obia 2.5 years no, or no sweat me a worry, or worry you are. Sa ni kunu na na iri na worry no, or no so bet me na nipa no, any maame no so, ana papa no so, or no so edianyane in asif na ewo krum ha. Before me Kosukrano, there is one thing I'm going to make up before I leave the floor for questions. Now, omo British passport, omo British passport, any omo Ghana passport. Se o British passport ni wu na se o kwa ko renew a se say no ombeka tro se fa wo Ghana passport ni bra me enhwe se edin ban na ewo Ghana passport ni mu. Enti bia edin a wo Ghana passport no ye Kojo Kwame Ansa, Kojo Kwame Ansa. Nanso British passport mo no Kojo Ansa ene wom, Kwame no enimu a ombeka tro se yen ma British passport no gisse ukosisa wo din no na ne nyina eye pe Kojo Ansa na ne wo Ghana passport no so wayi ama na ye Kojo Ansa.
Okay, it is all share live on SVTV Africa. Mini lawyer wisdom, Macau wise man solicitors. Only say the questions now, but I cover 20 minutes more. Na ya ponti. More more questions. And by me to screen you suma. Wa kaya mamona. I think say lawyer by come back. Lawyer. Okay. Ti ubeti me the questions now, but na mama lawyer akenkan amamo. Was say it. Making sure so be share be like you do I bring check beba. You come back say lawyer wisdom account. Why ready? Lawyer.
Yes, Papa. Sorry about
that. Okay, until now can be answer now line call off no say.
Yes.
Where we the mention say question you are.
Yeah, it's about the British passport. I'm a British passport and I'm also crack passport of any other country. So a ding na wo British passport mo and yeah and wa pepe and a wo Ghana passport mo. I'm catch us a passport any me and bra. What they call that's a daily a difference. They will not renew your British passport for you. You have to either change a ding na a wo Ghana passport mo not any the same as a ding na a British passport. And Sana, they will issue you a new passport. This is what is happening. So, your application, there's nothing to be worried about. They just don't want people to have two different passports with two different names, or a name that is in one passport is not in another, the British passport. They want everything to be aligned and the same. I don't say this, of course, is what is taking place. Don't be scared. If it's the same name, you don't have a problem. If you've never had a passport of any other country, you don't have a problem. If you've had it before and the names are different, you may have to do a deed poll to change it to all be in one name, and that is when they will issue you your British passport. Otherwise, they will not issue your British passport for you. So I'll leave it at that and see if there are some questions. I'll respond to it, and then we can possibly bring it to close. DJ.
Okay.
Hi, Queen. Could the two people who are marrying by being represented be allowed if one person is an overseer or stateless? Well, I want further clarifications, but let me answer the way I understand it. Assuming one is British and the other person has overstayed. See, let me use myself again so I don't get in trouble. Assuming some sitting or I am stateless. Being stateless means you don't have any country aligned or associated with you. You have to show that one party is a Ghanaian national. So if the man is Ghanaian, even though he holds a British passport, the man is a Ghanaian, even though he has indefinite leave to remain, and he meets a woman who is stateless, does not have any state, yes, it is still possible for the Ghanaian to marry the stateless woman, but that stateless person must have a representative in Ghana by even selecting one of mine or the man's family members to represent her. Enti ebia oni papa ne nuaba ana ne auntie bi akasa da. Obetumi afa phone akasa, "Auntie, I want you to represent me in the contraction of this Ghanaian customary marriage. Even though I can't come, I am happy to be married." And so she can appoint somebody from the man's family to represent her, whilst the other people, the family heads in the man's family, can represent the man. So, yes, it is possible if the person is an overstayer, and it is also possible if they are stateless. As long as one party is a Ghanaian, it is possible to contract the marriage genuinely under the Ghanaian customary laws of our country. Yes. Mr. Isaac Mafada, since the ban is starting from next year, 2024, on the student visa to bring family with you, so can someone come to the UK with his family on the student visa since the ban is not effective yet? Of course, the ban is not effective yet. Therefore, if you are coming to the UK as a student and you want to bring your dependents, then you must quickly do what you have to do and come with your dependents. You may want to check with your university as soon as possible and apply to get in here before the ban kicks off in January 2024. So, yes, that is how it stands at the moment.
Obi so try apply Canada do okay ntie den.
I applied to the Canadian Embassy and have not had a response from them, but I am about applying to UK through job with regards to previous traveling history. How do I answer that? Now, if you have applied to Canada and you've not been given yet, you have not traveled to Canada. So if they ask you, have you traveled to any of these countries, the answer will be no. If they ask you, have you been refused visa for any other country, the answer will be no. They haven't asked, have you applied to any country? That is a different question. If they ask you, have you applied, then you have to take yes. But if the question does not say, have you applied, but have you been refused or have you been to, then of course you have to give the right answer, and I'm sure that will not affect your application. Hi, Pius. I have been married for 5 years without marriage certificate. That is customary marriage. I wanted to bring my wife here. What should I do? Interesting. Now, under the Ghanaian customary law, it is not compulsory, it's not mandatory to register your marriage. Once I wakɔ ebusuafoɔ hɔ, waka kyerɛ m sɛ, DJ Nyame, woba no, medɔ no, mepɛ sɛ meware no, Papa DJ, wase, okay, no problem. Ɛne fa, nea ɛsɛ sɛ woyɛ no, fa bra, fa nsa bra, fa nantwie mmiɛnsa, fa ntoma enum, wode akɔ. Once amayɛ ɛwɔ fie no, woatua DJ Nyame 1.5 million something. Na wagye atom wagye atom sɛ waware ne ba no, abusuafoɔ agye atom. You do not have to register that marriage. However, sɛ wopɛ sɛ wode ne ba kurom ha a, oburoni nte aseɛ sɛ waware obi a who needs certificate. So you have to take it to either Accra Metropolitan Assembly or Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to register that marriage, the customary marriage registration certificate. You have to have a statutory declaration by two people who witnessed the marriage to say, yes, we were here when the marriage was contracted. They have to do a statutory declaration, take it to either the AFA or the KMA. Then they would issue the certificate. Who we are now, they are called Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and almost the letter atusu. Now we are now they are called, I think judicial service or so. Almost some of the letter atusu. Now almost the nina abba, which shows that even though you married 2020 and net now register is acceptable. Or even though you married in 2019 no, and net in our register is acceptable. But the date of the marriage is going to be 2019 or 2020 when the ceremony took place. But the registration will be 2023. So there'll be two different dates on the marriage certificate. Date of the marriage will be 2020, 2019, or whenever you did it. And the date of registration will be 2023, the year in which you register. So before you can persuade Obroni Sewa, you need to provide the marriage certificate. And yes, sir, so please register it, use that to support your application, together with the other supporting documents such as the certificate declaration, pictures of the ceremony, of course, WhatsApp messages, emails, bank statements, transfer receipts, and things of the sort, door-to-door shipping. All this will show that, of course, you have been married since 2019, and with that, you are able to apply for your wife to join you here in the UK.
Nice one, Lawyer Wisdom Akao, Wiseman Solicitors. Now, Lawyer Francis Wayne, I don't say that or Chile or Ghana.
Waba, and say, Yami Aduma next week.
Lawyer Francis. I bet you look at crown.
Oba ni auntie, na ni auntie any auntie over here a year. One bet
Okay, and yeah, and chair we are going to be here. But me share obi bisa question me.
What do you think about the student issue spreading? Mr. Danso, it's unfortunate. That is something that is come to hit everybody in the face. It's actually a blow in the face for, the genuine students and people who want to come to the UK genuinely to study. So, the decision makers will be looking at applications too. Even though Senipani, but genuinely, because of idea equity, decision makers will be looking at the application and then scrutinize it more. Now, one transfer, genuinely, na ebino will be affected by being refused. So it's unfortunate that this has happened, but we hope that the impact doesn't last very long. We hope that it will pass by, and then genuinely, people will be issued visa to come and study. People will be issued visa and they will come and study as genuine students, not just because they want to come to the UK and switch, as the gentleman claimed, which to me it's not very, very, very helpful at all, and it's not true. The fact that Nipa Mienu and school and the students come and they don't go to school. Obviously, you always find one or two people who would be non-compliant, who would be deviant, who wouldn't follow the trend. But that does not mean that majority of students do the same thing. Very unfortunate.
I mean, who video be almost say almost ban way bano even pono. So mo be we craft fees ni ade no be no double.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, but Fanny say no ye say 4,000 year to I say 8,000. Iti omo mo ni ska no mo timi ba school ni bio.
Now, DJ, it's unfortunate. You are see I had to send here the haves and the have not so. Obi wa me say na me a teacher ni. We try dear war somewhere in the Esichari Dodowa district. Esichari Hall. Very, very brilliant students. Excellent. But resources are anywhere ever push you binti and as the anyone say na obi no aka ekosa. They say nya wo no it's true. Say omutum sa obi no wanka genuinely ombetna very brilliant students become doctors and lawyers and accountants and astronauts and engineers etc. They'll be affected because they can't afford the fees. It's unfortunate, but this happens to be the life we are living. So that is why um, we keep praying that the law will be too harsh or too hard to affect people who have the genuine intention to come and study here in the UK. But there are very brilliant people walking the streets because they don't have helpers, and it's very sad, very very sad. Meaning that tuition fee, very likely somewhere too, but it may not be so astronomical, but very likely because of near agency, maybe at the amount of money you even need to look after yourself and your dependents, it's possible to review it and possibly review it upwards. And of course, it's going to make it difficult for other people to come to the UK.
Omunche na muye ni yo na esa ebeko krofu froso amanfo beko krofu froso. UK phone. Omunche na muye ni yo na amanfo beko Canada ni Australia ni US. Say pay English. Amanfo beko Canada dey also nti on betimi agidi wo Africa kra. On betimi agidi wo Africa wana.
Canada dey so pa.
UK phone omunche ni yo omunche ni esremu. Na ene ya mo ye isu de ye ne mo so obi kan say chale mo na mo be colonize ye nti mo nche su kakra na eja ti say nkra na mo ma ne ye nti mo nya ye kakra ne mo mra o
Hey na mo bi ni kakra na mo tu kakra mo bi kakra na mo tu kakra so
ba when they affect obi as Indians nya obi a worldwide nya Africa
we're worldwide, it's everywhere, and it's not targeted at just the African students. No, it's across board, and everybody is affected.
Lawyer, you better say no be passing through all the way no audits and the numbers in the egu screen so no betimi office line here there mo UK mo am here ne service ne ade no betimi a contact no na owie so a mema ma address no baby owo no the postcode ni ade obetimi akọ office ni ade nti lawyer obetimi dey atuja.
Thank you. Your Wise Smart Solicitors, suits 8 to 9, the Print House. Wise Smart Solicitors, 8 to 9, the Print House. 18 to 22, Ashwin Street, Dalston, London, E8 3DL. E8 3DL. That's the postcode. Wise Smart Solicitors, suits 8 to 9, the Print House. 18 to 22, Ashwin Street, Dalston, London, E8 3DL. Yewo, Dalston Junction here, directly behind the McDonald's, close to the Dalston Market. Into the Dalston Market, hop, na uko, any of the Ghana shops, na ubisaya sia, Wise Smart Solicitors, Umber Direct 2, and Alco Money Matters, now say upe lawyer, wisdom, omuwo, omwetiwa, very close to the Dalston Market, on more direction. We are directly behind the McDonald's. And to buy, you have show. Ubankwan, you have show. Telephone number no screen so 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. So Upra from outside is +44 2080 165 384. Mobile number near +44 7931 411 042 +44 7931 411 042. And no any details. Lawyer Francis Ewaha, Lawyer Nana Amwa Ewaha, Rosemary Ewaha. The team is becoming bigger and bigger. And see, feel free, call, book, come in, let's talk, let's see how best we can help you to regularize your stay in the UK. DJ, thank you as always. You are the number one.
Akpanami sia lawyer.
Maune nyomo wono.
Maune iraun. Okay, lawyer wisdom akao. Wise man solicitor said that I say nyame adoma next week Friday. Me sane na ba. Some aka say Friday bia 5:30 me ne ba. But some some me can before no earlier no na me ne Aisha Germany foi. Mo am pesa mo ko Germany mo am Germany more problems in here no me ne Aisha beba biom. Nyame adoma from next month June na be. Bosume be. Me ne Aisha beba biom Thursdays 6 p.m. Many be life into so what questions be any idea more Germany I know Schengen for me and many other countries so many na kai say many AK poku ne but intimi am so next week US me then beba biom na touch on few things na other countries kaka na me dey bremo nti so SBTV Africa one follow here go miss plenty things so tie we mu nyina untina mo bi mfembu you will know everything we share royal wisdom aka we watch the programs here and then start here you forget everything for no you understand okay madam say some share here Pius Efa thank you so much Henry Dakwa down so thank you so much Richard Nyamiche thank you Ufi Ansa thank you mo share nya Henry Tawusu or say good evening DJ Nyame lawyer God bless you too Isaac Mafada okay thank you so much Queen thank you Abubakar Hassan thank you so much darling Barnabas thank you so much virtual hangouts thank you so much Emmanuel Duo thank you so much I'll be Ankara thank you so much more comments by no thank you so much Procom TV thank you so much Amazing Grace Comfort thank you so much US Clement Edujemfi of Osohine it's a good program thank you so much Zico Ado thank you so much Dondi Bosta GH thank you so much Nanekwi Shira thank you so much Fozzy One thank you so much Chris AJ Medamase, somebody comments by Muhammad by Medamase, Muhammad share so Medamase. The voice of the community SBTV Africa. We a live show. Fridays be am here live. But the Thursdays be can on adma from next month. Me Aisha, Germany. It's Medamase, Madam Production team as DJ Click Sharon Natina. But so me show this we are daily also worldwide. You on the internet. More acquaint you. My numbers and I will screen so they be like share. So they be on me say for a drink the branya tem DJ. Many will be an interview. I mean, can't say comment, but in the attempt. But me actually why being but a bit more attempt the DNA too much. Mr. In can't say be casa and why you with me actually why being, but in the attempt. And respecting the background. Madam, I say, Madam, say, Ushamu Kruma, Cassade, tour. No, my just saying, two, so tour.